morning, YouTube. This is Luigi Man 8689 doing my Uncle Grandpa rant. And that's his voice. But there's a catch. It's not the morning. It's like 5:30 in the afternoon. But that's besides the point. So, this is my Uncle Grandpa rant. Now, as some of you viewers like me may know, good morning is his catchphrase. He says it to all his friends and every morning. So alright, so I can tell you straight up that I've watched a lot of episodes of it. Now the show isn't all that bad. I mean, there's some pretty good parts in it and it's pretty funny. I mean, they had this one episode that was all about funny faces. I mean, sure, it wasn't that funny, but it was still pretty awesome. And there was the episode with Belly Bros, kids with fat bellies and stuff. It was pretty good. So, yeah, that episode would definitely make a kid with a big belly feel good about themselves. So, anyway, it's just, and I've also watched the episode, where he takes that kid into an alternate dimension and has to get him back. So yeah, he just goes on these amazing adventures through his crazy trailer with his friends, and, also with random kids. So, yeah, I mean, sure, it's one of those goofy cartoons with, odd characters, but there's nothing wrong with goofy cartoons. A lot of cartoons are goofy. So, yeah, nowadays it's pretty hard to find one that still has, as you say, complex story arcs. So, yeah. But, before I jump to a conclusion here, I do have to say, however, the show also has a pretty big brand of stupidity. Now, this is where the ranting is going to start, guys. That was just a review where I said some nice things about the show, but this, guys, is where the ranting is going to start. Well, first of all, it doesn't have any logic whatsoever. I know cartoons aren't supposed to have logic and they just run on their own random logic, but it's just so unrealistic. I mean, Uncle Grandpa's mouth can, go, out this way, pretend this fist is my mouth, and it goes all the way down to, his belly pack right here. I mean, it's just crazy. And he has, arms that come out of his chin. He has, arms coming everywhere. He can, go one place and then come another from some random reason. He can look in the window and then be in a picture, apparently. And, he can, remove his head and put it on a different body. He can take off his nose. I mean, I remember in the pilot episode, he took off his nose and fed it to his pet sheep. And then there was this Uncle Grandpa driving the RV that had, 10 noses, and he sneezed, and they were, bouncing all over the front of the RV like tennis balls or something. And he can, take off his head and put it onto another body of himself. And, he can, take off his nose and he can, suck his arms, feet, and head into his body like a turtle or something, which is I don't understand. Then there's his friends. There's Pizza Steve, a, laid-back pizza guy with sunglasses named Steve, who, I mean, he's an okay character. He's just sort of the cool guy of the group. Then there's, the sort of more serious type character. There's, Mr. Gus, who is this guy who talks like this, and, he's sort of like an animal. He, eats bugs with his really long tongue. So, he just eats that, and he's never really that happy. He's sort of, yeah, he's just one of those guys who isn't happy that often. I mean, that's just one of the people that, it just seems like the appropriate thing for a cast to have one character that's rarely happy. Anyway, so he's one of the more serious characters. Now, fortunately, the show isn't all just dumbness and goofiness like my last rant on Rabbids Invasion. That show is just dumbness, from beginning to end. Now this one can have little tiny sprinkles of seriousness, from time to time, but still, it's mostly just goofiness. I mean, that's what you would expect from a cartoon these days. All these cartoons are just goofy loconess or whatever. So yeah. So thankfully there's Mr. Gus who can actually put enough seriousness in there to make the show kind of stable, but I really don't know. And then there's Giant Realistic Flying Tiger, who leaves a rainbow path behind her when flying around places. And she does look pretty realistic, but still, flying tigers and his RV, it's like crazy. It has like thousands of different rooms. It's like a house with like rainbows and like some sort of random thingy. I mean, I don't understand. Sure, cartoons are supposed to run on their own logic that doesn't make sense to any logic in the real world, but still, it's just confusing. I mean, having to follow all these logics, like in SpongeBob, you have to follow the fact that they're underwater, but they're really not. In Fairly Odd Parents, you have to follow the logic that they're magical creatures that can grant certain wishes and they can't grant other wishes, and it's just, so confusing. All these different TV shows with all these different random, goofy logics that just, like, are, like, so horribly put together. It's like, it's just really confusing. It's just really confusing. So, overall, Uncle Grandpa, he's just got a lot of goofiness in it. But what would you expect from a TV show that came out only earlier this year? What would you expect? Oh boy. No, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. You guys have got way too many goofy shows. Oh boy. Goofy show after goofy show. It's just crazy. Alright, so that's all I have to say. Bye.